The Mitt Romney shit show continues, and I love it. Hi everybody, I'm Dawn Myford. Thanks so much for joining me on Here's the Deal. So undoubtedly by now, you have either seen the undercover video of Mitt Romney hating on half of the American population, or you've heard about it. But before we get into his specifics, around 47% of Americans not paying tax and being lazy and wanting the government to take care of them and looking for government handouts, let's look in Mitt's own backyard. If you all will remember, I did a video about Mitt Romney's father and grandparents coming back into this country from Mexico and living on welfare and food stamps for many years. In the early 1990s, Bain & Company was about to go out of business, and Mitt was able to wrangle a bailout. That's right. Mitt Romney took a bailout from the federal government, the FDIC. Out of the millions of dollars they received from the federal government, they paid Bain executives millions in bonuses, and they only paid about 60 cents on the dollar back to the government on that loan. Taxpayers got left with the bill. Let's talk about his tax situation. So this is a man that's worth $250 or $300 million, and he pays no taxes. If he paid taxes, he would have released his tax returns. As Harry Reid said, he can prove that he's paid taxes to us, then show us the documentation. It's the whole reason why he has more than 20 offshore bank accounts to avoid paying taxes. In this instance, Mitt Romney definitely thinks that the rules that apply to him and all of his very wealthy cronies do not apply to you and I. Now, I want to talk about who these people are. Who are these freeloaders that he talks about? Are they veterans returning from the Iraq War? Are seniors on Social Security? I can bet you one thing. Most of that money is going into Republican-led red states. We all know that the poorest states, Mississippi, Louisiana, those are the states that are taking the most money from the federal government, and they're the states giving the least back, and they have Republican leadership from stem to stern. So the hypocrisy of all of that, it never ceases to amaze me. So let's look at the numbers around this 47%. Basically, you have 23% of Americans that are low income, living below the poverty line. I'm sure that those people would be happy to pay taxes if they made enough money to do so. Remember that the poverty line, a family of four, that threshold is only $26,000 a year. Some Social Security payments are not taxed as income. And then we have the acronym Earned Income Tax Credit. This is fabulous. EITC was put into place by Ronald Reagan himself. As a matter of fact, Reagan's quote around EITC was, "This is the best anti-poverty, best pro-family, best job creation measure to come out of this Congress." Patron saint Ronald Reagan raising taxes, granting amnesty to illegals, and putting in place the Earned Income Tax Credit. Now, the other thing that Mitt talks about is he says they're not paying any federal income taxes, but let us remember that every single American pays payroll taxes, they pay sales tax, and for those of us that are fortunate enough to own our own home, we pay property tax. This is what I want you to remember going away from all of this. We've heard Mitt say many times, "I pay plenty of taxes." You never hear Mitt Romney talk about how much he pays in federal income taxes. It's because he doesn't pay any. The hypocrisy is never ending. There is one thing on a personal note here. My father-in-law was a blue-collar guy, not a highly educated man, but extremely intelligent guy. And I loved talking politics with him. And I loved his quote. He would shake his head and say, "Those greedy bastards, the money has rotted their brain." I'm Dawn Myford, and this has been Here's the Deal.